I'll be honest, asking a quiet individual, why are you so quiet, has never gotten them to open up, and it never will. But I will tell you why that person is so quiet. Let me ask you this, if you didn't feel like doing something, would you do it? 9 times out of 10, you'd say no. And that same thing goes here. If a person is quiet and they're just doing their own thing and not really talking, it's because they may not want to talk. They just don't feel like talking at all. And in a society we live in, they see you not talking or being quiet as a bad thing when it's something we need to normalize and let people know, hey, there's nothing wrong with being quiet. If you're that person in the back of the room, you just want to be there, be quiet, not say anything, no problem. You're there, you're there. Because not everybody likes to talk 24/7 and hear the sound of their own voice. Some people just like to be quiet. And not only that, but they could be going through something and they just don't want to talk at all. They're just there, like, look, leave me alone. I don't want to talk. I'm just here, just chilling, not saying nothing. Let it be. And don't ask them why you're so quiet, because it's not gonna make them talk. Remember that. And if the person's always quiet, it's another good chance that they don't know you or they don't know anybody there. So they like, look, I don't know y'all. I'm not trying to get to know y'all. I'm just there, just chilling, doing my own thing, being there while I'm being there, whether it be at work, at the office somewhere else, or going to a post office. They just move in and move out. They don't know you. And like we've always been told by our parents, don't talk to strangers. Stranger danger, stay away. But I will tell you this though, if you come across a person that's always seemed like they're quiet, instead of asking them, why are you so quiet? Ask them, what are you thinking about? Or what's on your mind? If that's the case, they'll say like, oh, this person's curious about what I'm thinking about. Let me tell them. Next thing you know, you're gonna start thinking they're introverts, extroverts because of the way they talking now. On top of that, they could be shy or feel like they're awkward when talking to people. So they just tend to stay to themselves and not really much try to talk to people. But if you really want that person to open up to you, try talking to them with a meaningful conversation and not just short talking or small talk like, hey, how's the weather? They're gonna be like, good, good. That's all you're gonna get. Probably, if you get something after good, you're lucky. But start with a meaningful conversation and go from there. And besides that, they could be filling out the room and see what's going on in the room before making any kind of decision on who they're gonna talk to, where they're gonna sit at, where they're gonna stand at, because let's be honest, if you're introverted or that quiet individual in the room, you don't wanna just talk to everybody because it can be draining, it can make you feel extremely tired after you're done. And if you got limited energy and limited time, you're not gonna just wanna give it to everybody in the room. You're gonna see who looked interesting to talk to maybe and go over there. But if it's nobody that comes across as interesting to them or seem like they'd have a conversation or anything like that, they just stay to themselves and not talk at all. Like, yeah, be back there, all the way in the back by myself, just like that. But hey, here's an example of what I mean by this part. Let's say being at a gathering with a whole lot of loudmouth people that just want to talk over themselves, they want to hear themselves be heard, versus seeing somebody at a bench reading a book. Who do you think they'd gravitate more toward? The people, the loudmouth people, or the person reading the book? Most likely the person reading the book because, for one, they by themselves. 2, they probably have something in common they could talk about. And 3, it won't take as much energy talking to that one person unless that one person is just this obnoxious person that just likes to talk about themselves 24/7. And besides all of that, they could just enjoy doing their own thing and just being by themselves and just being alone and see no problem with that. Meaning that they don't care about having a whole lot of friends. They're okay with having a group of friends, more like 2 or 3 friends, but they don't need to be friends with everybody in the room. They're just okay with being on their own, doing their own thing. Solo dolo, lone wolf, the entire time, no problem at all. Like preferring to just be by yourself and talk as needed because they see being by themselves and talking as needed is the best way to go. It's similar to you trying to take a shower, you trying to take a dump, or you trying to do anything by yourself. You want that alone time. You feel better when you do it alone, right? Same thing goes here. They feel the same way when they're by themselves. They don't want to be bothered as much. And it's like, okay, I see now. But instead of asking you why are you so quiet, I'm asking you something else or tell you something else to get you engaged in what I'm trying to do. It's kind of weird, ain't it? People asking you why are you so quiet? What if you ask them, why are you so loud? Or you told them to shut up. I'm quiet because I want to be quiet. It'd be rude, wouldn't it? It'd feel about the same thing. But you know what? That's okay. Let's get back to the video. I'm out. Have you ever thought about this? That person could be in deep thought about something and they're just not wanting to really talk right now because they're more focused on what's in their head versus what's going around them. Or it could be that the person's bored there. Could be that they're not talking about anything interesting to the person. So they're like, yeah, I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna not even talk. But I tell you, if they get bored, they'll just go inside their imagination, tune everybody out, and just make stuff in their head to cure them of their boredom, because you know how you are when you get bored. You're either gonna go and do something new or you're gonna go inside your head. That's how it works for the most part. And on top of that, if they're in really deep thought, you're gonna think they're zoned out because they're so focused on what's going on inside their head. Because you're gonna be like, hey, you there? You're like, huh? What? Huh? Like, yeah, it can happen. I've done it too, but just saying. And similar to the one before this one, they could be making things in their heads or creating scenarios in their heads of what they think is gonna happen, or be trying to prepare for what they believe could be trying to happen. On top of that, it could be mental architects. And by mental architect, I mean creating something in your head and then doing it later. Because that's usually how the creation of the imagination works, is by making it up here, bringing it out here. 2 in 1, same time. And beyond that, just go ahead and let your imagination roam and just go everywhere and all over the place until it's time to go or time to do something else. Because let's face it, when you're by yourself, your imagination is gonna roam. It's gonna either be good, which is your imagination making you happy place, or it can be bad. It can cause you anxiety. It goes both ways. And besides all of that, the person could just like taking in the moment and observing everything, everybody, and all good things around them. Because like I said before, every moment doesn't have to be filled with speech. If you can't sit by yourself and not talk, you might want to try it out and see why quiet individuals or introverts prefer to stay to themselves all the time. Because once you get okay with being by yourself and enjoying it, you're gonna get addicted to it, and it's kind of fun, I'm not gonna lie. You enjoy time with yourself and you go on self-adventures all the time. But if you're watching this and you're somebody that asks a quiet individual why you're so quiet, I challenge you to do it for 3 days and see how it works for you. And if you're an introverted individual that's watching this, I got your back, and let me know if you agree with me in the comment section below. You know what though, the person could have not anything to say at all and they prefer to just be on their own. Or they're not really a group person, or they'd rather just talk to people one-on-one, because being in groups can make them feel uncomfortable. Or it's like, I don't like groups. I don't really want to be in a group, but yeah, if I have to just be forced to be in a group, I'm just gonna be the quiet person in the group because I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it just to do it, because why not? But I'm gonna find a way out this group though. But for right now, I'm just gonna be quiet. And on top of that, they may not know what to say or how to say it. So they just sit there. I'm like, be quiet. But like I said, it's nothing wrong with being quiet at all. This one might not be as obvious, but they could be anxious and are actually freaking out on the inside, and you just don't see it because they're not showing it on their face. But they could be showing it on their face and they're like close to just freaking out because they don't like being around people, but they can have social anxiety, speech anxiety, or feeling like when they talk, somebody's gonna talk over them, or they're not gonna hear them. And once you get stuck into a cycle of both of those, it's not fun at all. Because once you try to speak up, you thought you was loud, you was mighty, everybody in the room heard you, just to find out that nobody heard you. And you're like, well, I thought I was loud, but apparently not. And yeah, it's hard to get out of that cycle. But if you've ever done that or wanted to learn how to speak louder, check out this video here. It'll help you get past that and speak louder easier. No problem. And if I'm being perfectly honest, this one is probably one of the biggest ones, the biggest factor. 9 times out of 10, it'll be this one, which would be they don't want to be there at all. They're only there because somebody dragged them there, or they just have to be there, whether it be at a party, whether it be at work, whether it be at a gathering, anything along that nature. They just got there because somebody else wanted them to be there. They want to support that person, and they didn't want to say no because they didn't want to upset the person or have them mad at them. So they said, okay, I'll go, but I'm not going to talk because I don't want to be there. Versus if they were somewhere they wanted to be at, you'd be thinking that person's an extrovert because of the way they're talking to everybody there. Because introverts can be extroverted when they want to. They're just mostly introverted around other people, but they have to recharge in order to get back to how they were. They can't do it every single day unless they were talking to people about things they love every single day. Then that'd be a bit different. But yeah, comment down your thoughts below because I'm curious about what you think about this too. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. And as always, be confident, stay confident. I'm out.